Welcome to this video on learning disabilities and educational neuroscience. I am Dr. Naraginthia Murasoran Reddy, and in this session, we will explore how brain science and policy bridge the gap to create inclusive classroom practices for diverse learners. In this section, we focus on evidence-based inclusive practices, specifically looking at universal design for learning and classroom strategies that actually work to support all students. Universal design for learning is a framework, not a quick fix. Developed by CAST, it is grounded in how different brain networks support learning. It designs for variability from the start and benefits all students, not just those with identified disabilities. The three core principles of UDL are engagement, the why of learning, representation, the what, and action and expression, the how. These ensure learning is accessible by providing multiple ways to engage, perceive, and demonstrate knowledge. The 2024 CAST guidelines have introduced a vital update. They now include a fourth dimension, the who of learning. This update highlights identity, belonging, and the impact of systemic bias, while shifting toward more learner-centered language. When it comes to interventions, evidence shows that structured, multisensory literacy instruction, explicit and systematic teaching, and scaffolded cumulative practice are the most effective ways to drive neuroplastic changes and real skill gains. For your lectures, consider high-impact changes, provide materials in advance, use clean and dyslexia-friendly layouts, chunk your instructions into clear steps, and always pair spoken explanations with visual or written reinforcement. Regarding examinations, remember that extended time is the most evidence-supported accommodation. Other effective strategies include offering alternative formats, providing low-distraction seating, and focusing assessments on concepts rather than the presentation of work. In higher education, identification remains crucial. Watch for patterns like strong verbal skills contrasted with weak written output. Know your institution's support pathways and work to normalize disclosure to create a stigma-free environment. Next, we turn to ICT and AI integration. We will look at how technology acts as a powerful equalizer for students, while keeping a cautious eye on its appropriate implementation. Essential tools include text-to-speech software to reduce reading load, speech-to-text for composing, dyslexia-friendly design tools, and digital note-taking solutions that support students who struggle with real-time writing demands. Machine learning is increasingly helping in early identification. Models analyzing handwriting, eye gaze, and speech have shown over 80% accuracy, proving that early detection remains the best predictor of long-term academic success. A 2025 systematic review of 11 studies involving over 3,000 participants confirmed that AI-based interventions consistently yield positive outcomes, particularly when utilizing personalized, adaptive, and game-based learning systems. Key tools for 2026 include Microsoft Immersive Reader, AI-powered text-to-speech tools, generative AI reading companions for summarizing complex texts, and adaptive learning platforms that adjust to a student's real-time performance. Finally, always remember that AI is a tool, not a substitute for human judgment. Be mindful of algorithmic bias, avoid over-reliance on technology, protect student data privacy, and ensure that a professional always stays in the loop. Moving on to the policy landscape, it is important to understand that integrating ICT is now a clear policy mandate. Both NEP 2020 and the RPWD Act of 2016 explicitly require the use of assistive technology to support inclusive education. National digital platforms, such as Diksha, are now expected to meet rigorous accessibility standards. This ensures that these tools are functional and helpful for all students, regardless of their diverse learning needs. We now shift our focus to the classroom environment. This section covers what you and your institution can do, starting this term, to foster a more inclusive space for everyone. Here are 5 steps you can take this week. Learn to identify specific disability patterns, implement one UDL principle, offer flexible assessment options, direct students to support cells, and always verify brain-based teaching claims with evidence. Institutional compliance is also vital. The RPWD Act mandates a 5% seat reservation, accessible campus facilities, resource disability support cells, and a move towards systematic, proactive screening of students. Remember that inclusion is not a one-time checklist. It is a teaching practice you must renew in every single class. Policy sets the floor, but evidence-based teaching is what truly raises the ceiling for your learners. Let's summarize the key takeaways to carry back to your department. Learning disabilities are neurobiological. Policy mandates support inclusion. Neuroplasticity allows for change, avoid neuromyths, and leverage UDL and AI for effective, scalable teaching. As we conclude, keep this guiding principle in mind. We do not need to fix the child. We need to design an environment flexible enough for every kind of brain to succeed. Thank you for your time. I invite you to share your questions, classroom experiences, and the challenges you face in your institutions. This session was organized by the UGC Malavia Mission Teacher Training Center. For those interested in exploring these topics further, please refer to these selected sources, which include key research studies and policy documents on learning disabilities and educational neuroscience.